Yeah, today we'll start on preparing a new performance cycle. Okay, so here, but I may not be able to type, but you can slowly understand, and we'll try to do the configuration slowly. Okay, the performance management. We need to prepare a launch form like what you call performance cycle. So here it is performance management cycle is involving a lot of other settings like employee goals, like reviewing employees performance and rewarding the performance and so on. So here the managers and employees use the performance review form to evaluate the employee's effectiveness for reviewing the what you call goals, job core values, and job specific competencies, and etc. In this performance management cycle, we see goals, competencies, and the job core values. So here, as an administrator, we have to create to distribute these performance review forms. So when the time it's about to start the performance cycle, time to start the performance cycle. So here we have a certain steps for preparing this performance management cycle. Okay. So here the first thing is we have to go and create and modify rating scales, because we have certain steps, and this will give you the entire and to launch a performance management cycle. The first thing is we have to create and modify the rating scales. The second step is we have to go and create a roadmap, and then we have to the third step is managing the what do you call form template settings, like we have seen for goal management. And the next we have launching the performance management cycle. Okay, these are the key steps which involved for launching the performance management cycle. And before you always go and launch the performance management cycle, it is always a best practice, and it is always a best idea to check and validate the system data for whether it is properly working or not, because rating scales, roadmaps, and form templates, or launching these form templates, and everything is involved one step to another step. So that is why we always have to prepare the system information, the system data, prior to launching your performance management cycle. And here in the performance management cycle, we have a certain components. Okay, we need to understand what is a form and what is a form template and so on. The form, what is a form? The form is something which is used to record information. If somebody is going to ask us what is a form, we should be able to understand. Form is different and the template is different. So let us understand what is a form in the performance management cycle. A form is used to record information like evaluation of the employee's performance during your review cycle, or forms are generated from form templates. Okay, here the forms are generated from form templates. Okay, a form that an employee receives, and it always contains the elements of form templates, which is it's based on how you create. Okay, for example, we have created goals, we have a categories, we have a fields, we have a general settings. In the same way, we also have in the performance management cycle, we also have a form and we also have a template. Now what is a form? A form is which is used to record information like evaluation of employees performance, a review cycle. And what is a a form template. Okay, form templates are nothing but for all the forms in SuccessFactors. Okay, it contains the form templates. Form contains the form templates like the layouts, sections, and workflows for each form. And these form templates are that your company's you know is going to use and upload when you're going to configure all your what you call success factors, or what you call performance management implementations. When this implementation is going to take place and all these forms have been properly updated, and or when your system is you know set up while you are going to launch your performance, all these forms and layouts and sections, form templates and everything is maintained. Okay, so here when we are talking about a form templates, okay, we also have a form template section. We have understood what is a form, and the form contains the form templates, and again in the form templates we have a sections. Okay, these forms are divided into different sections. Okay, from where these forms are coming, of the forms, and which are associated, okay, in success factors. That means in the forms we have a template settings. For example, information in the goals section of a form is associated with the goals tool. Okay, so this all of how it's connected, that it's very simple, just like your goals we have seen. Okay, we are going to bring together everything, like we have seen one section for a competency, we have seen another section for the goals, and the goals we have is general settings and so on. And the same way, when you are going to prepare a performance management cycle, we have a certain key steps here, like rating scales, roadmaps, managing the form templates, and launching the performance cycle. These are the certain key steps are involved, and we are going to modify all these steps step by step. So the first thing is rating scale. So the first key step in the performance management cycle is rating scale. So this is a tool. A rating scale is a tool which is used during your evaluation process to quantify all the reviewers' perspective performance. Okay. The rating scale is something required when creating a form. Okay, when the rating scale is involved, required when you are going to create a form, or you can always use your own rating scale, or you can create a new rating scale. It is up to your requirement how you are going to use this rating scale, how you know whether you copy the existing one, because you can use the different rating scales available here in the system, or you can copy, or you can modify, you can do whatever you want. So here we have a rating scale here in the performance management section. This is the first key step which we need to create. Okay, let us go and click on the rating scale. So here a rating scale we need to understand as it is 1 to 5. Rating scale is something where we see as a 1 to 5. 1 is being considered as the lowest rating, and 5 is considered as the highest rating. Okay, yeah, and if you just look at here, that there are so many other existing rating scales are there. Right, you can see here the name of a rating scale and whether it is active or not, and you can see the description, and you can see the created on and updated and created by and the deleted button. Okay, and you can see here some of the rating scales. Okay, if you want to create your own rating scale, and you can see, but it's not like you add from your success store and so on. You can create the existing rating scale and you can copy. Okay, sorry, you can create a new rating scale or you can modify the existing rating scale, or you can do whatever you want. So here as an administrator, you can create a rating scale at any time, and you can create, you know, so many rating scales as you need, like 1 to 5, 1 to 7, or 1 to 3, or you can also build your one rating scale. If you just look at here, if you just select this, you can create your own rating scale for your own specific sections. Right. So now let us understand to create and to copy or modify the rating scale. Right. So it is always, you can see 1, 2, 3 and rating scale. It is always there, right? You don't have to worry about, you can see here 1 to 5 rating scale, and every time the least one is considered as the lowest rating, and the highest one is the number digit is considered as the highest rating. So if you have your one rating scales, you can create, and if you want to build your own rating scale, you can just go and add, like this. It's very simple how you want to define each section. You can just go and add your own while you are going to create a new rating scale. So let us always take, as it is requested, best practice 1 to 5 rating scale. So why the 1 to 5 rating scale is considered? Because as a best practice, the success factors recommends it's a 5-point rating scale. The reason it has a midpoint, right? It has a midpoint, that is a 3. That means it's just enough to, differentiation. It's to differentiate without, introducing the scores, and you don't have to worry. For example, if you just take here 1 to 7, so it's while you are going to use these rating scales in the performance form templates, and it's a bit, of course it is also easy, but as success factors recommends, you should always use 1 to 5 rating scale. Right. So if you want to build your own rating scale, you can do whatever you want, and let us just go and use. Right. So here I'm not copying the existing one. I'm just creating the rating scale. You are already aware of how to copy and all the options to understand, like we have understood, like for goals and so on. Right. So you can just go and save it after you define. So now it's saying that the rating scale is already existing for, let us give like this and save it. Right. So now the option is, the whichever you created is being saved to here. Sorry. So now you can just go and see here in the rating scale section, and you'll find that rating scale 2017. Okay. Now if you just remove here the status, and this will be, okay, considered as the inactive status, and you won't find this rating scale anymore. Okay. Yeah, because earlier we will have an option here against to this, like you can also include, but now you don't find. So I will be explaining what there are a lot of changes has taken place to the system from 2015 quarter 2. So I will explain to you what are those, and You will understand the changes to the system even for XMLs and so on. Right. So let us not spend on this because the rating scale, you understand, it is used to evaluate the reviewer's performance perspective while you are going to create your managing the form templates for your performance management. Like we have already seen the performance management, so goal management templates. In the same way, we also have form templates for your performance management. Right. So while you are going to copy, for example, okay, while you're going to copy an existing rating scale, so you can always go and click on as save as, and you should always try to give a new name because when you are going to copy that the rating scale, maybe for example the standard one, if you don't want to modify the 1 to 5 or 1 to 7, whatever it is, you can just go and copy the rating scale. So why you need to copy the rating scale, but most of the time you can use the existing rating scale which is sufficient. Okay, it is sufficient because you are going to include, you can use the number, these one rating scale in number of form templates. It doesn't mean that every time you are going to create performance form templates while you are going to use rating scale which are here listed, it doesn't you don't have to worry, you should always use a different rating scale unless you have a different, okay, review perspectives while you are going to create a different form templates. Then you need like whether it is 1 to 7 rating scale, 1 to 5 rating scale, or while you whether you build your own rating scale and so on. Okay, so otherwise you can use the rating scale which is already there, okay, which is already existing in the system. You can use the same rating scale. Yeah. So the first thing which we have seen is all about a rating scale, because I'm just taking here, I don't want to waste the time here. So next, what is the another key step is a what do you call roadmap. Okay, so we have to just go and understand about roadmaps. See, it's not like you create step by step and everything is having a connection in the performance uh, cycle when you launch it. All these things are going to be assigned, and even employees are also going to be assigned with this, okay, form templates we are going to create. Now we need to understand what are the roadmap. The roadmap is nothing but it is a workflow. What is a roadmap? A roadmap is something which establishes the workflows and the steps for the users so that the user is able to follow during your performance review process. Okay. The rating scale which quantifies the reviewer's performance like 1 to 5 or 1 to 7 and so on. The roadmap is something which allows you to establish, or it allows you to establish the workflows, and there are certain steps for the users to, okay, certain steps uh, for your users to follow during your performance review process. And if you want to use the roadmap, okay, it has to be associated with the form templates. So that is going to come the next step. Okay. So there are several form templates, okay, can be associated with a one roadmap again, just like your rating scale. Several form templates can also be associated with a roadmaps for single roadmap if you require. Right. So roadmap, it is nothing but it specifies the order in which the forms are no, what do you call, from one user to another user, and what user can do during each step and so on. So in the roadmaps we have a certain steps, and these steps are going to specify what a user can do, okay, while your performance uh, review process, while it is going to be included in the performance management cycle. Okay, or you can build your own roadmap as well. But here, as SuccessFactors recommends, and most common approach is to edit an existing roadmap, okay, and you can use it at any time as an administrator. But you should always keep in mind the roadmap may be used, okay. Why I'm just telling this point, can these also roadmaps may also be used in 360-degree reviews. The roadmaps also be used in a compensation. The roadmaps may also be used sometimes in recruiting and on other tools as well. In addition to the performance management review process. Okay, the roadmaps, the same steps also will come while you work in a 360-degree review, while you work in a recruiting, while you work in a compensation and so on. Even there also you have a rating scales. The process is same for your goals, for your performance, for your compensation, whether it is 360-degree review, whether it is a recruiting. Process is same. The configurations are same. But even the rating scales, roadmaps and everything comes from there. But you have to be very carefully handle which roadmap is going to be used in a performance management side, which roadmap is going to be used in a 360-degree review and so on. So now if you want to copy if you want to copy a roadmap, or you can build your own roadmap which is already existing, right? So you can do whatever you want at any point of time with a different name format. It should not be the same if you have different roadmaps. Okay, maybe like making some minor modifications, maybe like some steps may be removed and so on. You can do whatever you want by using this, okay, roadmaps for your performance templates. So let us go back to your admin center and click on manage roadmaps. Right, and you can see there are so many roadmaps here which are already existing here, right? And you can add your own, or you can also choose from your success store, right? Before that, you can see here there are roadmaps already existing here, the active and status, and it's updated, and this each roadmap is used in a different templates, number of templates here, and then you can see the delete option. There are so many roadmaps you can see here, right? Roadmap and so on, so on, you can see. Right, you can see here there is something. If you click here the preview, you can see that the create, modify, recruiter review and completed. What is this? The steps are the workflows which what a user can do in each step in each of the roadmap. You can see here like this. When you click on each one which is already existing, you can see here the steps. As I said, the workflow. A roadmap is nothing but a kind of workflow, a different steps what that it specifies what a user can do in each of these, okay, roadmaps, right? So you can either copy while you click here, and you can copy with a different name if you want to do the same, okay. Otherwise you can just go back to your roadmap list, and you can add from the success store, okay. So you have there the predefined roadmaps, like you can see that managers only review PM V12. So I didn't explain to you what is a PM V12. Okay, so PM V12 and PM V11. What is a PM V12 and what is a PM V11? So in 2012, okay, so the SuccessFactors has redesigned the performance form templates, okay, when this was introduced, okay, in the 2012. So before that we have a PM V11. Okay, what is the use of the PM V12, PM V11 or 12? So where PM V11 was built to support all the processes with a best practice point of view. Okay, all the steps which are involved, like what each step can be done and so on. But when it comes to the PM V12, so it is something where it is designed deliberately to optimize the user experience with the manager, right? So the success factors has optimized the process for the common manager scenarios. This includes like stack ranking and like roadmaps, like and so on. So there is a bit, some extra additional concepts are involved. Like you don't have those concepts when it comes to the PM V11. So in 2012, the success factors has started. This we call it as a PM V12 version, where it helps you to design and to optimize all your experience, the user experience with a manager, like stack ranking and so on, right? So if you just look at here in the success store, do you see a lot of other templates for roadmap? Okay. If you want to preview each of the existing roadmaps, okay, like you can see here, manager only evaluate with a discussion, managers only review, managers only review with a HR signature, self-evaluation and so on. Right. So we'll just choose any of the existing the form templates from this success store and let us see the preview, okay, how it is going to look like. Okay. Okay. Now what do we need to do? If you want to preview this, you can just go and click on any of the link and you can see here like there are certain steps, the workflows involved like manager assessment, one-to-one meeting, and employee acknowledgement, manager acknowledgement, and completion. And you can see the same for the self-review. Okay, manager and self-review. You see that self-assessment. And you can see here, whichever that, you are going to use, whichever you want to use it while you are going to launch a performance cycle, you can just go and use them. Right. So I'm just going to add any of these road form templates and we'll understand one by one. Right. I'm just going to use the managers only review, for example. So you just go and select the radio button and click on add to my instance. And here you can just go and add, okay, and click on add to my instance and you will find 2016 managers only review. Right. So now you see that you have added successfully a new roadmap. Okay. But it's not like every time you copy or get from your success store, and now you can also add or you can also copy an existing one as well. You can also add your existing roadmap and so on. But if you just look at here, if you want to modify an existing roadmap or if you add a roadmap from a success store, so here we have a lot of steps involved here in the roadmap. Okay, first let us understand when we are going to modify these steps. Maybe when you're going to maybe as for example, if you want to launch the forms with a slightly with a different changes, maybe in the steps and so on. Okay, so we have to create properly and we need to be very clear this roadmap we are going to assign with certain people, so we have to be very clear and to whom we are going to assign and so on. For example, you see this roadmap and we have a certain stages here. Okay, in each of the stages we have a modify stage, okay, signature stage and completion stage. Remember, every form roadmap you are going to work, it should always have three stages. One is modify stage, signature stage, and completion stage. Okay. And you can, before that, let us see here the roadmap, and you can see the description and so on. If you want to use it in a 360-degree review, or you want to use it for collaborative and so on for the users. All right. So what is the step name? For example, if you just go and click on each of these steps, you can see in each of the stage we have a steps. Okay, this is one step, this is one step, and this is a stage, this is one step, this is one step, and so on. Right. If you just go and click on manager assessment, all right, let us see here carefully. And there are certain steps here. Like the first one is the step name. What is that step name? The step name is nothing but it's the which displays in a roadmap within a form template. Okay, the step name is which displays within your form template. And you can see the step description is that the users will see on to-do list. If you are going to add, okay, this no to-do notifications, if it is enabled, the notifications whenever that user is going to use this roadmaps while the performance cycle is launched, and this description the users will see on a to-do notification on the home page. Okay, but the step name is the users, then it will be displayed to the users where they can see as the roadmap name. Okay, so this will give you the more what you call understanding about what users are going to be asked. Right. So here the description field is something sometimes left blank as well. That means what the users will see if this step description is being left with an empty, then what the users are going to see on a to-do notification type. What is that they are going to see? They will see the step name automatically. The step name will be displayed automatically on a to-do notification. Right, and you can see the single role and iterative and collaboration and so on. We need to understand all this, and we also have in each of these steps we have certain roles as well. Okay, we have a roles. What is that we need to understand? And you can see the start date and end date and the due date, and enforce the start date. What is this? An automatic send due date of the when this step is launched or used by your performance management cycle, you know. And you can also see the show the advanced options. All right, you can see a lot of other things here. Right. So I will explain here all these. What is a single role? What is iterative and so on. The first, let us go and click on advanced options. So here we can see the step introduction and mouse over text. So it is used for your users so that when you are going to move your any of these steps, if you are going to enable, okay, so you will see the description automatically for the users, and you can see the step name after completion, and this will be displayed. The step name or the text you specify will be displayed on the buttons. Okay, if you leave it, and you can just no leave it, and you can see that step mode. Do you want to allow whether it's only comment only or whether it is only the full edit and so on, and you can see, of course it's all just an optional. You just scroll down here and you can see the step ID. What is this step ID? Okay, the step ID, which is auto generated system reference number. The step ID is nothing but it is a auto generated system reference number for this specific step. For every step you have a step ID. Okay. Next you can see the start of a review. So what is the start of a review? This allows the to review or to begin the step for the review. Next you see, click on out of turn access. So what is this? This allows the users that concurrent editing. Okay, for example, what we can say, concurrent editing for the employee and employee manager. What is a concurrent? At a time. Concurrent means concurrent employment. I have explained in Employee Central.
Different. I mean, two jobs if they hold actually.
It's not like that, but here out of it on
Kind of.
access means okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So here out of a on access means this allows you when to enable for the user. That means editing for the employee and even for employee manager and so on. So if you want to allow your employees and managers to access this form template, what you need to do? This box has to be enabled out of turn access. That means concurrent editing. That means you are giving an access, you are allowing the employees and employees managers to edit this form template section. So if you want to give that, and you have to be very sure and you have to make sure this out of turn access is enabled. Next here you see that one-to-one meeting. Okay, one-to-one meeting. If you are going to give a check mark, that means one-to-one meeting is created. That means reviewer's role is something where they can also associate one user to another user, like one-to-one meeting is created for this particular specific step. Right. These are all same advanced options you will find for every step within each stage you have. Okay. Okay. Now let me explain the roles as somebody, how you are going to include the employees and employees managers and so on when you are going to launch a performance cycle. Very easy. Here if you just look at here the roles. So here the roadmap, you see here these roadmaps are defined. That means these are the roles which specifies and which are assigned to the users, okay, to define to whom the form has to send. When an employee is going to, okay, use this performance templates, within that we have these sections, and when he is going to create his one, when he is going to launch his for performance cycle, and it's not like he can send everyone. We have a certain roles, certain permissions to whom this the form it has to send, whether it is to manager, whether it is for second level manager, whether it is a custom manager, or whether it is an employee, whether it is a user, and so on. So here this standard system roles which specifies the employees, managers, second level manager, and HR representatives, and so on. These roles which specifies, which defines, okay, to whom these roles has to assign. Okay, once it is done, to whom it has to send. Which one? The form. For whom the form has to send. So will be specified with the roles that you are going to specify, whether it is a manager, whether it is an employees manager, maybe whether it is an employee, and so on. All right. Next one, you can see where you can customize the dates. Right. You can see the start date, you can see the end date, and you can see the due date. So what is that? We need to understand the start date. The start date is nothing but is when a specific step is going to start. And you can see when this manage error assessment step is going to start, when this one-to-one meeting step is going to start and everything. But this date is specific only for this specific step in the modify stage. That means the start date is when a specific step is going to start and the form cannot be completed. Into this existing the date which has been processed. And here you see that exit date and the due date. Okay. And it should not be the greater, if when you're going to create, it should not be the greater to the exit or the due date. Okay. Now, if you just look at your exit date as well, in the same way you can also specify the exit date which is passed into this your due date, and the due date is identifies when the step is due, and the exit date is that when that particular step is about to exit and the move to the next step, and the start date when the step is going to start. Right, you can see here enforce the start date. That means enforce the document enforce this start date is nothing but this will remain in ready only. That means in the user's inbox in the performance section of your module picker till that and that till this start date, okay, has occurred. Still this start date has occurred, this will not start. So if it has to enforce the start date, once that your start date has occurred, you have to give this enforce the start date. Next one, if you click on automatic send on a due date, okay, that means this step or this document automatically sends to the next step when your due date is specified. Whether you complete, whether you don't complete, when you specify automatic send to the, that means this you are going to allow to move to the or send it to the next step when the due date is specified. Okay, it will send to the next step. Okay, next, if you just look at here, there are certain stages, like we just explained one example as modify stage. Like it is going to be the same, we just go and click on it, the same options will come, but I didn't explain what is this types and all. I'll explain. Now you just look at here the signature stage. The signature stage is something what you can see, you can edit the step name, you can edit the step description, and you can also edit the step type and the dates. Okay, the same like which we have understood just now. All right, and you also have an advanced options as well. See, the concepts and everything is same, the same like you have seen, but I'm just taking everything, the common scenarios which are there in every step, that's I'm just trying to explain first, but you don't find everything the same way. All right, you can see the same option, step ID, the step introduction and mouse over text and so on, you can see here, and in the signature stage, and you can see the completion stage. Right. So in a completion stage, you can edit the step name. Okay. You can edit the step name, and you can see here, you can also select the carbon copy role. That means which defines who is copied on the form from when it is completed. Carbon copy role means you are going to specify the role who has to copy when this form template is completed, when this roadmap is used in any of the specific template. If you specify that, you are going to specify that who has to copy, okay, this form, you are going to specify here as a role. Okay, so this is how we need to understand. Right, now let me come back to the modify stage. And here you can customize the existing, or you can add, if you want to add, for example, let us come back and you can see here, right, if you want to add any of your extra any other steps, You can just go on and by clicking here the plus button, right? When you add that, you are able to see here, 1 second. You can also drag and drop, you can delete. It's not allowing. 1 second. Right. Now you can see here, you can get the standard using workflow designed. If you click here, you are going to add a new workflow step to your process. If you click on delete, you can remove the steps to your add it to a workflow, and you can also drag and drop the order of the steps in the workflow or the process. If you just go on, use these buttons, right? Still, we need to understand other things as well which are there, and we'll see that all those things tomorrow, and we'll move ahead. So we'll be having